My friends, welcome back. Amanda here. And as we approach the new year, depending upon when you are listening, it is right at the end of 2022. I want to do several different mini episodes to help prep you for this transition into a new year. So, one of the things I really wanted to talk about is how to create 2023 goals that stick and actually set yourself up for success. Well, at this time of the year, we get so inundated with opportunities to review and release and to create goals and vision board and all of these things, which I think are amazing and great tools. But what we really do is we get sucked into this cultural phenomena of new year, new you. And I want to talk about why I think that's kind of BS in the traditional sense and how I might advise you instead. And this is coming from 6+ years in the wellness industry, working as a coach, many years before that, working on my own personal wellness, and many years during that, working on my personal wellness. And I want to show you a little bit about what I see in the wellness industry that could trip you up and what I might recommend to overcome that so that you can actually set yourself up for success and create goals that stick in this new year. So, in my opinion, the new year is not a time for a full body makeover. Yes, the new year is a great springboard because so often we kind of get the motivation, during this new time to do a transition into a new way of being. However, the thing that strikes me as important is that this is not time to overhaul your life. And so often we get stuck in this trap of, I have to change everything all at once. I'm going to rip off, not even the Band-Aid. I always call it ripping off the wax strip. And ladies, if you've ever had anything sensitive on your body waxed, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is not the time to do that. This is not the time to just completely start fresh. Yes, it is a fresh year, and your body, your nervous system, your lifestyle is not something that you want to do a clean slate on, typically because that is going to put you into overwhelm. So instead of deciding, oh, this is the new year, I'm going to start off going to the most intense workouts, doing the most restrictive diet, eliminating this, adding in that, all of these things that we try to put into place that are amazing tools, amazing habits, amazing lifestyles and ways of living for the most part. Sometimes we try to put them all in at once. And if you do that, your body is going to go into overload. So there are things like, one of the things that was really popular in these past 2 years was 75 hard. And it was this tremendous, thing that people were doing. I did not do 75 hard, but several of my clients did. And I'm so proud of what they were able to overcome and implement. And programs like that are so drastic, that are having you go basically balls to the wall for 75 days, have a really big turnover rate where at the end, people are so exhausted from doing so many things for so long and trying to keep up with all of these new habits that they actually end up just kind of boomeranging and going back to an old way of being. And so this is not a time to do anything drastic in my mind. This is a time to do instead really curious inquisition into your life and what you want and what you desire. What are your values and what are your ultimate dreams in life? And so this is a practice that I take my clients through. This is something that we're going to do in my personal Dry January program and in all my coaching practices, is really sit down and review, what is it that you desire right now to the best of your ability, understanding that your desires, your dreams for yourself are small in comparison to what is possible for you once you are thinking in your full creative mind. So I want you to know that right now, your desires might seem impossible and difficult to get to. And I also want you to know that your desires are going to change over time as you realize that those desires that now seem difficult are small in comparison to the grandiosity of what is available to you. And so in this moment, what I want you to do is just to get clear on the desires in the major areas of your life. Again, I would lead you through this exercise if you want to join my Dry January program or work with me. It's not a difficult exercise. It's separating your life into major areas of accomplishment. So your relationships, your work, your financial abundance, your livelihood, all of these different areas where we might have things that we desire or want for more or desire to change. So what would that look like if we could dream at our biggest right now? Okay. Then I want you to not look at what you have to put into place to make that happen, because that's scary. That's too much for your little brain to handle right now, your big but small-minded brain. So then instead of saying, okay, what are all these new habits that I have to put on place? I want you to look at it the opposite. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, which is notably the best-selling self-help book of the past several years, says something that's really poignant. You may have heard me say this before. He says, the ultimate form of optimization is elimination. Nothing is more effective than removing the ineffective. One more time. The ultimate form of optimization is elimination. Nothing is more effective than removing the ineffective. So instead of trying to decide what new high-value habits you are going to put into your life to optimize yourself in this next year, what I want you to first do is decide what low-value habits, what ineffective habits am I willing to remove? And for most of you listening to this podcast, I'm going to bet that your most ineffective habit is now or has been in the past alcohol. And what I know from 6 years as a coach working in the alcohol-free space is alcohol is just the root of or the mask of the bigger problem. So alcohol is the most ineffective thing because it's keeping you from seeing lots of tiny other inefficiencies, limiting beliefs, small-minded habits that you have. Alcohol is just allowing you to stay blind to them. So if you were to remove alcohol from the equation for a significant period of time, and then start to slowly chip away at the other ineffective thought patterns, beliefs, behaviors, habits, relationships, commitments, different things and ways of being that you have in your life, what you would have then is a really beautiful, thoughtfully created, clean slate that would allow you space to bring in and add into your life. But instead, what we try to do is usually just try to add in when our life is already overflowing with responsibilities. And most of them are self-created to create chaos, like drinking. Drinking is just a way we create chaos in our life. So instead of saying, how am I going to add in this workout routine, this journaling and meditation practice, this healthy diet? I want you to ask, what can I remove to make space for those things that I want more deeply? And even if you have already removed alcohol from the picture, I guarantee there are still lingering kind of adjacent suboptimal habits that alcohol has allowed to stay in place. This is why I don't just work with my clients for, a short-term period of time, because I know that once alcohol is out of the place, we have other things to do. And that I intimately understand that as someone who has been observing and studying this behavior for a while. So if you were willing to just commit to removing alcohol, notice James Clear does not say the ultimate form of optimization is moderation. Nothing is more effective than moderating the ineffective. No. That's not what we're going for here. We want to eliminate it. And that doesn't mean I want you to eliminate alcohol forever, but I want you to eliminate alcohol long enough for you to have a runway for success. And that doesn't look like 30 days. That doesn't look like just dry January. Yes, that is a start, but I want to be honest with you as I talk to you here on this podcast, as potentially you join my dry January program, as potentially you sign up to work with me as a client. There is no quick fix to your success. There is no quick fix to finding your potential. Your potential is something that is built upon and actualized through your life. And if you want to create a space that you have the most opportunity to actualize that potential, I want you to consider what it would be like to remove the ineffective for a longer period of time. So if you're joining with me in one of these programs, if you're signing up to work with me in some capacity, yes, we always start with 30 days, but that's not, okay, we're going to do 30 days and then ease alcohol back in. I'm being honest with you. No, that's not the plan here. What we want to do after 30 days is reevaluate what was hard, what really sucked about this, what was really challenging, what was really frustrating, what was easy about this, what was wonderful, what was delightful. And then we want to go in for another 30 days and then another 30 days. My goal is to get you to 90 days alcohol free, 90 days of eliminating the ineffective, and then to really, really say, do I think that there's more beyond this? And most of my clients say yes. And so I want to invite you in this new year, instead of doing a whole life overhaul and doing new year, new you, trying to change everything, what if you just committed to changing one small yet very significant suboptimal habit that is keeping you from optimizing your life in the way that you want it to be, that is keeping you from reaching your potential, that is keeping you from having the relationships, the job, the abundance, the body, the health, the resilience, the emotional security, the emotional maturity and healing that you want? What if you just focused on just for these first 30 days, then we can talk about what you might optimize past then. What if you committed to simply removing the most ineffective thing and adding on from there? If that sounds good to you and you're not already planning to do a dry January, or if you're living a dry lifestyle and this is your second, third, fourth, fifth dry January, I want to invite you to join me. I'm doing a really rad, super high value dry January challenge. It is my Unbottled Potential Dry January challenge. And we are starting January 2nd, but you can join all the way up until January 6th. So if you're listening to this a little late, it's all good. During the challenge, I'm going to be delivering to you weekly audio lessons. So it's going to be like a private podcast in two different levels. The first level is for you if you're just getting started on your sober curious journey. It is the level where you'll break up with booze. And I'm going to be giving you audio lessons to help you understand your relationship with alcohol and start to shift your mindset and kind of start to undo a little of the brainwashing we have in our minds about alcohol. And then level 2 is for you. Now that step will be good for anyone. Honestly, you could do both of these, even if you've been alcohol free for a while. Level 2 is breakthrough to your best life. And this is where I'm going to be helping you to start to remove some of the other suboptimal habits under alcohol, kind of investigate some of the mindsets that alcohol may have been keeping you stuck in that were not helpful for you getting to your potential. And we're going to, in this step, go ahead and cover all of the main areas of your life and where you have potential to grow and stretch and break through to that best life you've been dreaming about. And so I am sharing all of this with you for $44. It's an amazing value. And you also get a couple of live group Q&A calls with me, as well as access to some exercises and journaling prompts that I think are going to be really super helpful in breaking up with alcohol and breaking through to your best life in 2023. So if that sounds like a good plan, if you are ready to stick with me and ready to commit to this one small but significant change in the new year and really diving into this life that you deserve and desire, I would love to support you. I'm going to put a link down in the show notes, or you can always just DM me Dry January and over on Instagram, and I can get you details. I am redoing my website right now as we speak in the beginning of the year. So there is not a information page on my site. So you'll want to look down in the show notes to get more details, or just DM me over on Instagram, Dry January. So I hope that this is helpful to you. I hope that you reconsider the socially acceptable urge and encouraged urge to completely overhaul your life and do the new year, new you thing in 2023. And that instead you decide to simply focus on removing the most ineffective step and then adding on from there. We want to take small steps, not make a huge gargantuan leap into a new life. We want to do a tiny step at first so that it's comfortable and it's challenging yet achievable. And that's what I hope to help you with and support you with in this new year, no matter how that shows up. And I hope to catch you here on the podcast and hopefully in that Dry January challenge. I will talk to you next time, my friends. Take care.